Hi, and welcome to another installment of Cecil Weekly on Cecil.tv. I'm your host, Rob Churnside. It's December the 19th, and this is our holiday special. And what better way to kick it off with our first guest, George Kaplan. George, welcome.
Hi, Rob. Glad to be here.
And why don't you get right into it and tell us why you're here? I see you brought something with you.
Yeah. I'm here to promote an event at St. Mary Ann's Episcopal Church in Northeast. We've been doing it every year, every holiday season now for about 10 years, and it's called Family Train Day. And it's mostly a fun event. We started it because there were a bunch of us, we realized, had some old model and toy trains in the attic, which we hadn't gotten out in a number of years, and we decided, hey, let's get them out, let's put them up. Let's let the community in and to see them.
So this, I think you said it was January 9th?
January 7th, Saturday.
January 7th?
Saturday, January 7th.
Saturday, January 7th, and a lot of trains like these are O-gauge, right?
These are O-gauge, but what we have is, we have 6 or 8 different layouts of different gauges, starting with the really tiny N gauge, which is smaller than HO, and going up to standard gauge, which is quite a bit larger than this.
So folks don't have to pay a nickel to get in, but it's a fundraiser. Is that correct?
That's correct. We don't really charge any admission charge, but we do take contributions at the door for St. Vincent's School for the Handicapped in Haiti. And that's been our designated charity now for quite a number of years.
Well, Haiti, I believe, is going through a series of troubles here recently, right?
Oh, certainly has. There was a major earthquake in 2010, which in fact destroyed the school. And they've been hanging on over the past couple of years in temporary buildings and temporary facilities, and now they've just bought a plot of land to rebuild the school with new facilities. So as you can imagine, I mean, Haiti is the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere, and you can pretty much imagine that handicapped children in Haiti are just about the most vulnerable people that you could think of. So it's a much needed charity.
Yes, a wonderful endeavor, and I intend to be there.
Good.
I've always liked trains. I had these kind, and then somehow they got sold when I was a little kid. I got an HO set.
Yeah.
And I think that's up in my attic.
Yeah, that happens to a lot of people, and that's how we, it's just a bunch of us getting, talking around a table, and as I said, we all discovered we had train sets in our attic that we hadn't really put up in a number of years, and we decided it would be fun to put them up and invite the community in to see them.
And at St. Mary Ann's in downtown Northeast, correct?
Yep, 315 South Main Street.
There will be refreshments and...
Yes. We always have food there. It'll be open from 10 o'clock in the morning to 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, as I said, I intend to be there and look at all the train setups and...
It's a little different each year. It's a little different each year because we have people that have more than one train set. So one year they might bring one, and the next year they might bring something a little bit different. So it is a little bit different each year, and we have different participants also that are able to come and set up their train sets. So it's always a little bit different, and we always have a lot of fun. We've had great attendance the last couple of years. So I really enjoy participating in this.
And it's in the parish hall?
It's in the parish hall. Yeah, it's a large open space, and we can get 6 or 8 layouts in there. As I said, there are different gauges, so it's interesting. And some of them have, the kids are able to run some things.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, under supervision, of course. Yeah,
naturally.
Yeah.
Without putting little brothers and sisters on the tracks.
Right? Yeah. Right. Exactly.
That would be bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, let me ask you this, George.
Okay.
I know you're into the trains. You're here to promote this fundraiser.
Yeah.
January the 7th.
January 7th.
Saturday.
Right.
But I've been told you're an astronomer too.
Yes.
Tell our viewers a little bit about that.
Okay. Yes, I'm an astronomer. I worked for the Navy most of my career, and retired about 10 years ago. But I still have my hand in it because I still have a part-time contract with the Navy to support navigation technology and software. So yeah, that's been my life. That's how how I've made money.
Well, that's how sailors navigated by the stars for centuries.
Yes, exactly. And people are often curious because they say, well, why do you need that? We have GPS now, so why do we need astronomy to navigate? And the truth of the matter is that GPS is also anchored in the stars. The whole GPS system depends on astronomical observations that are actually done every day. It's a tremendous enterprise which goes on. People think GPS is sort of magic. You just turn it on, it tells you where you are. But it's a huge project within the Department of Defense. Involves both the Navy and the Air Force, and so there's a lot of technology that goes into it. And some of that technology is astronomy.
Well, I would say it's always good to get back to your roots, as it were. You know, really.
Right.
You can push a button, listen to GPS, or listen to the voice on in your car tell you where to go and where to go left. But it all comes from the stars. You're telling me.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. Well, it sounds like my entertainment on January the 7th is in the stars.
I hope to see you there.
We're on track for a good time.
I hope to see everybody there.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Merry
Happy
Christmas
holidays.
to you. Thank you.
Back again with the Cecil Weekly, Cecil.tv holiday special, and boy is it really getting festive now. We have with us the elf himself, my good friend Ray Herwig, known as Handy Herwig. Ray, welcome.
Thank you, Rob. Nice to meet you.
Now you are going to share some helpful holiday hints with our viewers and let them know how to keep things safe and easy and fun for the holidays. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, that's what I was prepared to talk about, some of the holiday festivities that are so much fun, but could also be fraught with inherent dangers. So the first thing you'd probably want to do in creating that holidays festivities is bring a tree into your house. Well, there are numerous trees that you can select from and numerous ways of procuring them. And I recommend that you buy the tree anyway, so you don't have to meet any local law enforcement agencies. But there are numerous stores along Route 40 that offer a pre-cut tree. Now, when you buy a pre-cut tree, you really don't know where it's come from. It could have come from out of state. It could have been delivered for 3 weeks or more. And you want to find out if the needles still have a vibrant...
It might not be fresh, you're saying.
It could not be fresh. It might be stale if they call trees stale. But one way to test that out would be to merely run your fingers through the pine or the needles themselves. And if an excessive amount falls out, it's in all probability dry. Like Linus used to do with his tree. He'd bounce it on the ground and you'd see them all fluttering down until ultimately he was left with sticks. Well, you don't want sticks in your house. Not at Christmas time, anyway.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong, Handy Herwig, but wouldn't an aspirin in the water prevent all that?
No, the only thing aspirins really prevent would be heart attacks. Oh. So I don't think it's really beneficial to the tree. Now, what you could do, and what you should do when you get a tree that's pre-cut from one of the local establishments, is cut at least an inch off of the bottom of the tree. That will ensure there's be new sap that's starting already to seep, and then immerse that tree in your tree holder in water. That would help with keeping that tree vibrant and alive a little bit longer, because you're putting hot lights on it and elements.
Yeah, and then when you have to water it, you have to reach down with all those sharp needles. Isn't there a way you can get around that?
Well, there's an easy way of getting around that. If you take a normal garden funnel or a household funnel that you would measure ingredients and pour them into a small bottle. Attach that to some sort of tube. I have a clear polyurethane type tube that's used in plumbing and various uses, ice maker tubes. Run that tubing through your tree so that when you do want to water it, you put the funnel in the tubing, add the water away from the nicks and cuts, and the only thing you truly have to monitor is how much water you're putting in. Because we really don't, water damages hardwood floors. So you really, if you have a hardwood floor, you don't want water all over it.
You are the handiest.
If you have rugs, you don't want them wet because then they start smelling musty. And there's nothing worse than musty.
Well, that's in the house. What about going out in the field and actually getting a tree?
Well, for years, when we first purchased our house, we had no trees. And we thought it would be a great idea to go out and physically dig the tree ourselves. Now, they have farms that'll allow this as well. Some of them actually provide you with the shovels necessary to cut or to dig the tree out of the ground. The rule of thumb there is you take the width of the tree, and for sake of conversation, say it's 3 foot wide. Well, you want to start your digging at least 3 foot wide so that you're ensuring you're getting down to the very root of the tree without damaging what they call a taproot. Now, taproot is something that's normally towards the center of the tree, and it provides the most nourishment, almost like a major artery, and that runs through the earth. So you want to try to avoid cutting that taproot, and by digging out so far around it, you're almost ensuring it when you start to rock it and pry it open that you're going to get the taproot that comes along with it. But the inherent danger in that one is, as I said earlier, your daughter hits you in the head with a shovel.
This happened to you?
This happened to me. My daughter was 3 years old. We were out. It was a great family type affair. And the tree farm, as I recall, was somewhere in the Conowingo area. They escorted you around. You went to pick it yourself, and you dug it up. And when you dug it up, you kind of raised a little flag, and they would come by and pick it up for you and cart it back to the sales area. Because you really don't want to cart them
that
either.
sounds like a lot of weight.
You know, back in the day, I was a younger man. And it was still a very heavy tree. A 3 foot ball of dirt with a standard 5 foot tree is somewhere in excess of 250 pounds. So it's kind of heavy. But they would pick it up for you. And as I said, bring it up to where you pay for it. They'll load it in your pickup truck or whatever vehicle you want to put it in. Pickup truck's preferable. And off you go. Now, getting it into the house is another situation.
Yeah. That sounds like a great idea. A lot of people want to cut their tree. Do you recommend, is there any way you can make this job a little bit easier? Because they give you a little saw like this, about like that, and you're on the ground.
Well, when you're doing it with kids, chainsaws are inherently dangerous, so you want to try to avoid children. But
maybe a hatchet?
a hatchet would work. Again, you got to be careful how you swing, but the tool of preference for a tree is this handy thing right here. It's just, and it's down.
Cordless.
Now you've already cordless too, so you can carry it out in the middle of the woods.
Well, Handy Herwig, I'll tell you what, let's reenact the old John Henry story. I got my little hatchet, you got your saw, let's go. May the best man win. Happy holidays to each and every one of you.
Merry Christmas.
Well, it's Discover Cecil, and the festivities continue with my old friend, musician, singer, songwriter, old-timey music guy, Dell Lord. Dell, welcome.
Nice to see you again, Rob. I'll tell you, you do a good job too when you sing and play.
Well, I work on it. I aspire to be like you.
Well,
A role model for the
thanks
rest of us.
again. And I've been playing and singing, for quite a number of years. and played all around the United States and including Canada too. And I made some albums and things like that and all, and it works out, pretty good.
And you've been playing for over 50 years, right?
Yeah, 57 years. Yeah.
So you started as a small child
Yeah.
outside of Chaddsford, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
And the first instrument you picked up was what?
A guitar. Yeah, I started out on a guitar years ago when I was really, really small. And we had an old guitar, and I bet you those strings, I'm not kidding you, sat at least a ½ inch off the neck. And we had old-time butter knives. And the butter knives, we took them, and we would slide up and down the strings where I could find notes. Well, when I got 7 years old, my mom started showing me the chords. And then she showed me 3 chords, and then from there, I just took it and graduated on to the other instruments as well.
And you went right to the top, because at an early age, after you learned a few chords, weren't you playing with Louis Armstrong?
Yes, when I was 13 years old, I played with Louis Armstrong.
Louis it is.
Yes, Louis. He always liked to be called Louis, never Louis.
And what song did you play with him, or what songs?
I do remember one in particular. It was called Hello, Dolly.
I think we all remember that one.
Yeah.
So, you've had a long career in music, and at some point not too long ago, you took the poem. You're from Rising Sun, Dell.
Rising Sun, Merlin, yes. Mm-hmm.
And how could, say if one of our viewers wanted to contact you and get you to play at a party or an event, how would they get in touch with you?
Just call me on my regular telephone number, and at 410-658-7791.
7791. Call Dell for fun.
Yeah.
Old time and good time music, right? What do you call the kind of music you play, Dell?
Actually, it's the really old-timey. It's traditional country and bluegrass. People like Jimmy Rogers, the singing brakeman, Hank Williams Sr., Ernest Tubb, all the old great ones, Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs, Mac Wiseman, of course Bill Monroe. And that's the type of music I've always played and sang. When people were learning how to play the Beatles, and at that time, in my age, the Beatles were just coming out, and really, the Fab Four was really getting started big. Well, anyway, they were learning that, and I always learned how to play Flatt and Scruggs, or Don Reno, Red Smiley, that
Sure.
type of stuff. Yes,
Sure.
yeah.
Well, I'm cowboyed up.
Yeah,
Took a cue from you. You're a role model for the rest of us.
Well,
And-
thank you, Rob.
And I'm just wondering, you have a new guitar you're going to play for us tonight.
Yes.
What selection are you going to play?
I'm going to play a song entitled Mom, I Miss You Today. It's one that I wrote, and I really sincerely hope that it touches everybody's hearts. And it's a very true song. It's absolutely true.
Well, I'll tell you what. A lot of folks miss a lot of folks over the holidays, so I'm sure it'll ring a resonant bell.
Well, I sure hope so.
And happy holidays to everybody. Let's listen to Dell Lord singing his song.
Thank you, Rob. Merry Christmas, you all, and God bless you. Don't forget to pray. I'm going to start this out with a little run that my mom used to do, and here's her run. On top of a hill, in an old stone house, where my mother was born and lived all of her life, she raised her kids through heartaches and tears, had faith in Jesus all through her years. Mom, I miss you today. It's so sad that those heartaches came your way. Oh, I love you so, and and God surely knows, Mom, I miss you today. She didn't have much, not much to afford, but one thing she did have was trust in the Lord. She told everyone plenty of times, trust in Jesus and things would be fine. But Mom, I miss you today. It's so sad that those heartaches came your way. Oh, I love you so, and God surely knows, Mom, I miss you today. Her kind, calloused hands would fix a meal grand of fish and game that we got to eat. She worked hard each day, but made time to play her guitar and sing as she showed us the way. Oh, Mom, I miss you today. It's so sad that those heartaches came your way. Oh, I love you so, and God surely knows, Mom, I'll see you in heaven someday.